This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Welcome back to Chapter 2 of From the Battlefield to Boardroom. In this episode, titled Blitzkrieg Your Goals, we're going to explore how to apply the rapid and powerful tactics of Blitzkrieg to your personal goal setting and achievement. Get ready to learn how to charge through your objectives with speed and precision. Let's dive in. A world power collapsed in just 46 days because its enemy moved faster than anyone thought possible. Now, flip that to your life. Most goals fail not from lack of effort, but from spreading that effort too thin. So here's the puzzle. What happens when you attack just one target? Most people plan their goals like a year-long road trip, dozens of stops, endless detours, constant, while I'm at it, errands. Blitzkrieg thinking flips that instinct. Instead of mapping the whole continent, you choose one city, fuel one vehicle, and drive hard until you're parked in the center. Here's the twist. This isn't about working harder, it's about tightening the battlefield. One clearly defined objective, one short, intense push. One channel where you pour your best time, attention, and tools. Fast-moving companies do this all the time. Amazon doesn't improve the website, it hammers one leverage point, like its recommendation engine, until it transforms the numbers. Netflix didn't modernize, it drove a streaming pivot so focused it pulled the whole company in its wake. You can run the same play in your own life, just on a smaller, sharper front. In practice, this means treating your next goal less like a hobby and more like a limited-time campaign. You're not committing forever, you're committing fully for a short burst. That opens the door to bolder moves, clearing your calendar for a week, temporarily over-allocating resources, or making faster, less reversible decisions than you normally would. Think in terms of tempo. How quickly can you move from decision to action and from action to data? The faster that loop spins, the more you can adapt while others are still drafting their plans. Most people get stuck at the fuzzy middle. They know what they want, they're hyped for a burst of effort, and then, the calendar, inbox, and side quests swallow everything. To blitz a goal, you need something the 1940 planners had but underestimated: concentration of force. Translated to your life, that means asking a sharper question than, what do I need to do? Try, where is the narrowest point that, if broken, makes everything else easier or irrelevant? For Amazon, it was surfacing the right product at the right moment. For Netflix, it was getting streaming to feel frictionless enough that DVDs became obviously obsolete. They didn't just move fast, they picked a hinge, then leaned all their weight on it. This is where a single, measurable objective becomes operational. Instead of get fit, you might lock on to perform 10 strict pull-ups in 8 weeks. Now you can concentrate. Sleep, training, nutrition, even social plans can be aligned or deprioritized against that one metric. The goal stops being an abstract desire and becomes a coordinate you can aim resources at. Next comes a tightly scoped, resource-loaded action plan. Resource-loaded means you don't count on future you magically having more time, discipline, or energy. You pre-assign actual hours, tools, and support. Think of your calendar like limited runway slots at a busy airport. If your campaign doesn't own specific slots, it doesn't take off. Block sessions, prep materials, arrange help, and explicitly decide what will not get done so this can. Short execution cycles turn this from fantasy into feedback. Implementation intention research shows that specifying, if X, then I do Y, speeds up progress. So you shrink the horizon, 48-hour sprints, micro milestones, tiny tests. Netflix didn't guess the perfect streaming model in one leap. It iterated on interfaces, delivery quality, and pricing while subscribers responded in real time. Finally, momentum compounds only if you deliberately exploit early wins. Land one new client with a focused outreach script? Immediately reuse the script, ask for a referral, and channel that credibility into the next outreach round while the signal is still fresh. Treat every small success as a doorway that's briefly propped open. Your job is to shove more opportunities through before it swings shut. Think of 3 different fronts where this approach quietly wins: skills, money, and relationships. On the skills front, take someone who's dabbled in guitar for years. Nothing sticks. Then, for 21 days, they lock on to one song, one technique, and one 25-minute block every evening. No new gear, no YouTube rabbit holes, just repetitions, quick tweaks, and recording each attempt. By day 10, they're not just better at the song, the habit of rapid adjustment is wired in. On the money front, consider a freelancer stuck at the same income level. Instead of vaguely marketing more, they pick one offer, one audience, and one outreach channel. For 2 weeks, they send a fixed number of tailored messages daily, refine them based on replies, and double down on whatever wording gets traction. A single promising response isn't a trophy, it's a template to copy and stress test. On the relationships front, imagine deciding that, for 1 month, every Saturday morning is reserved for one person you've been drifting from. Same time, focused attention, tiny experiments, a different question, a walk instead of brunch, a quick follow-up message that afternoon. Progress shows up not as grand gestures, but as inside jokes resurfacing, harder topics feeling lighter, and plans starting to come from both sides. You're not fixing everything, you're breaking the ice in one spot and letting warmth spread out from there. Over time, you notice a pattern. The more specific the target and shorter the burst, the easier it becomes to start the next campaign. Blitz tactics won't stay optional. As AI handles more routine work, your real edge becomes how quickly you can spot a thin crack of opportunity and drive a wedge into it. Think of weather fronts colliding. Small shifts in temperature trigger sudden storms. In the same way, tiny data signals, a spike in replies, a feature users quietly love, can justify a 7-day blitz. The skill to call that storm on purpose, then stand down before burnout, will separate consistent builders from exhausted sprinters. Treat each blitz like tuning a radio. At first it's static, then one tiny twist brings a station into focus. The more often you run these short campaigns, the faster you'll hear that lock-in click, where effort, timing, and payoff line up. Over months, your calendar stops feeling random and starts looking like a string of chosen, winnable battles. Here's your challenge this week. Pick one 30-day Blitzkrieg goal and schedule a 2-hour power session in the next 24 hours where your phone is in another room, notifications are off, and you work only on that goal with a visible countdown timer running. Before you start, slash your original plan in half by eliminating every non-essential step and commit to a good enough but done outcome, not a perfect one. During the 2 hours, you're only allowed 3 actions: execution on the goal, quick notes on obstacles you hit, and a 5-minute reset break at the halfway mark. No research rabbit holes, no reorganizing, no tweaking. When the timer ends, send a 1-paragraph mission report to a friend or post in a group, sharing exactly what you finished and the single biggest bottleneck you hit. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. This series continues with more chapters on OwlUp.co. Visit OwlUp.co to access the complete course and continue your learning journey. See you there!